So when I got to work tonight, somebody asked me if this was me on my shirt. And I kind of chuckled and I said, no, it's young Michael Jackson. And the thing about it is I can understand why a lot of people would not recognize this, because compared to the iconic person that we knew for many years, as far as lighter skin, thinner nose, long hair, things like that, it would be unrecognizable. Now, the point to all of this is we can all go through a point, and most of us do. We get to a point where we're not recognized the same as we were as children. Now, sometimes it's physically, you go through a growth spurt or something to that effect, but most of the time it's internal. Now, whether it's physical or just your character, either way, hopefully what we want is to get to the point where we're doing it and we're bettering ourselves. That way we benefit those around us by being more at peace with ourselves, happier with the choices in life that we've come to, and that way again we benefit those around us. And if we can all just take a piece of what we've transformed into, making ourselves better and sharing and participating with those around us, I think we can just make at least our world as we know it a better place for everybody. And again, it's kind of the old saying, change doesn't start until you change your mind. So hopefully this finds everybody in a fantastic place, pursuit or beginnings of total health, mind, body, and soul. We'll see you guys soon. Peace, love, unity, solidarity. So I'm going to do part 2 to the t-shirt talk while I'm getting pulled over here. So I had somebody come up to me and say, hey, is that Michael Jackson? I said, yeah. He's like, oh, wow, back when he was black. And then he just walked off. And then I thought to myself, wow. So it came up to me later, and he asked if it was weird what had happened. Hold, please. Okay, so I was a little taken back by what the person had said. But he came up to me later and he said, can I ask you a weird question? I said, what's going on? He said, was that offensive what I had said? And I said, my advice would be to know your audience. And he's like, he's an older man, white male, just for context. And he said, he's like, I didn't, it wasn't what he's like, basically he's trying to stammer and stutter. And he just said, I'm trying to observe my own stereotypes. I said, look, man, I said, we all have them. I said, we can at any time, one demographic can say something off the cuff about another, not meaning it to be maliciously attacking, but nevertheless, it can hit in a certain way. So I said, it's all good, man. Because I appreciated his, and I've talked about it before, his reflection rather than projection. Oh, you're just being sensitive, or, anything along those lines. Clearly, even if I would have been like, dude, that was terrible, I can't believe it wouldn't have been any worse than what he had already been going through in his own mind. He knew the moment he said it, like, wow, and that's something he's going to have to carry with him the rest of his life. I mean, I don't want it to be like that sort of a punishment or that heavy, but we've all done or said something cringeworthy that you can come back 2 years later and you're just like, I can't believe I said or did that. And it's how we grow. It's a great way to grow. Sometimes the pain of humiliation, embarrassment, regret, all of those things, those are great growing tools. It doesn't always have to be manifestation and positivity and things like that. Sometimes our best lessons come when we've done the dumbest things. And I appreciate him. I have a new level of respect for what he was able to come back over, say and do. And when I was explaining it, because a couple other people had seen us talking, and when I walked away, they were kind of looking at me like, what was that about? And so I broke it down to them, and they're just kind of like, no way. And I said, but here's the thing. We could all say it. I could say something off the cuff, not meaning offense, just as a heterosexual. I could say, there's so many demographics that we can cross the line, and it becomes something that we just are desensitized to in a lot of ways. So I don't want to get too much further into it because I'm driving, and I want you guys to understand I'm being safe while I'm driving, and and all that good stuff. So, but what are your thoughts on this? Not only the first part of not being recognized sometimes, and it's a great segue because there's a good chance that depending on who he was as a younger man, he may not be recognizable clearly as an older physical version of himself, but for the man who grew to the point where he could say, I need to go back and write that, or I need to go back and learn from that. So it comes full circle. And I'm glad that he was able to learn such a valuable lesson. And I'm not even going to say I wish he wouldn't have said it, because again, there's a reason that it was said, and it helped him grow, helped me grow, and hopefully it'll help you guys with just this shared sequence of events. So again, I would love to hear your ace up the sleeve advice, comment, experience, and what are your thoughts on this? And as always, hopefully this finds everybody in their place, pursuit, or beginnings of total health, mind, body, and soul. Peace, love, unity, solidarity.